everyone! So today I am doing, as you can probably tell by the title, a day to night look. So two different looks with the same palette. So the palette I'm using is the Jaclyn Hill palette by Morphe. I really love this palette. It has a ton of good matte shades and shimmer shades and different shades of the same sort of color and tone, which is really important for trying to transition a look from day to night. And if you can't tell, this is the nighttime look. And fly. I think this is really good for, like being in college. I'm gonna be sophomore in college, and you have stuff going on during the day, and you have your normal makeup on, and then let's say you're gonna go out at night or you have something to do later, and then you're like, oh, take off my makeup, redo it. But you don't have to do that. You can just build on top of what you already have if you keep the first look pretty simple. And this is just making it a little more smoky with some eyeliner, darker shadow, and a darker lip. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. So here I am grabbing my Morphe Jaclyn Hill palette. I'm showing all the colors here. As you can see, there's a really nice variety, doing a little dancing around. So the first shade I'm going to use is this light brown shade called Silk Cream. It's just a matte shade, perfect for a transition color. And then I'm just taking a fluffy brush and blending that all above my crease and in my crease, just slowly building up the color to help the look blend more smoothly later when I add more shades. Just dipping back into the palette and slowly building that up. The key is to just keep blending back and forth until you get a nice smooth finish with that shade. So now I'm going to deepen it up a little with a mauve purple tone called 24/7, I think is what it's called. And so I'm just blending that with a slightly smaller blending brush, more concentrated in the crease. So a little bit lower and not quite as diffused as I did with the earlier color, but still just going back and forth and trying to blend out the edges. And this just deepens it up and adds a little bit of a different, rosier, more mauve, cool toned color. So that's how it looks on both eyes. And I'm taking that same big blending brush as before and taking a slightly warmer brown matte color called MFEO from the palette. And this I'm just going to use to blend everything out. I figured why not use another different transition color, just adds more depth to the eye look. So I'm just continuously blending that out. And you can do as many shades or as few as you want, but I just kind of like to add more. I just am compulsive about continuing to add more colors and making the shades more well blended together. And so as you can see, I'm just still blending. That is really the key, especially for during the day. You really don't want anything too harsh. And if you just keep blending with different transition shades, that really gets you a nice natural look. And then you can dip back into the same color and do that on both sides. So now I'm taking a little bit more of a flat but still fluffy brush, and then I'm taking that same brown color that we used first, Silk Cream, and I'm gonna blend that again, but more just on the outskirts. So instead of on that darker color we had already used, the mauve tone, I'm just doing it right on the edges to diffuse everything. And so not lightening up the crease that we have already built depth into, but just blending it out. So now I'm using that light shimmery pink shade called Faint just on my lid. It's really nice and shimmery, but also subtle. It's not too crazy metallic. And as you can see, it's pretty light, so I'm just blending this all over my whole entire lid, except not too much into my outer corner, but as you can see, I get a little bit out there. So here I'm taking a smaller brush, and I'm taking the first highlight shade called Enlight in the palette, and I'm putting that right under my brow bone, and that attracts a lot of attention to your brow bone and makes your eyes look really defined in different ways, and it really catches the light. And it also helps make your brows look a lot more crisp and really nicely filled. So that is the complete eyeshadow for the daytime look. Oh, except for in the inner corners, forgot about that one. I love doing an inner corner highlight. It really brightens up your whole eye and helps the whole look come together a lot more. So then I'm just curling my eyelashes with this eyelash curler I got from Sephora. And I really like to curl them so that the curl holds and that it's really defined. I don't have super straight lashes, but they're not really curly either. So I really like to do that to help my mascara look better. Oh, okay. Anyways, so just still doing that, having fun with it. Sometimes I hurt my eyes a little, so gotta be careful. And then now I'm using my Benefit Roller Lash Mascara just in black. And I really like this mascara. It's super nice at defining your lashes and not making them too clumpy or crazy looking, but it's just a really nice clean look for mascara. Here I am making mascara faces, singing, talking to myself. You know, flip my hair, I move it to the other side cause I don't care, cause I don't care, just watch me as we go. Ow! Really hurt myself there. You gotta really be careful with your mascara wand. You can really poke your eye out. So there is the finished daytime look. Just perfect for an everyday subtle look. And then I'm just adding a nice sweet peach gloss from Too Faced in the shade Papa Don't Peach, I believe. I really like these creamy peach oil lip glosses because they're super comfortable to wear, but they're shiny and also not sticky. So that really makes it look very nice. So that is it. Hey guys, so I'm back for the nighttime look. Really, it was just like 1 minute after that, but I am getting the same eyeshadow palette out again, getting excited. And first, I'm going in with the shade Buns, just the nice matte mauve shade to deepen up the crease a little bit more. Whatever shadow is left there can just be darkened up for the nighttime. So I'm going back in with my fluffy brush and putting that all throughout the crease. And I'm just going to keep blending that just to make sure that it's nicely diffused with the other shadows that are already in place and that there aren't any sharp lines. So next, I'm taking my smaller blending brush. There's me singing to New Light by, what's his name? John Mayer. And then I'm going in with the shade Central Park, which is a little bit of a darker shade that can deepen up the crease a lot more. It's a very cool toned, deep brown. And see, I'm just applying it a little more concentrated and a little more precisely in the crease. So I'm flicking up, as you can see there, to try not to overblend too far outside of where I like to apply my eyeshadow. But other than that, I'm using swiping motions in the crease and just trying to blend everything together and even up. See, I have a little patchy spot there. So I'm trying to dab or dot the product on and then blend out, because if you blend all over the place, it'll get everywhere. So then I just went in with a clean, big, fluffy brush and tried to blend out that edge right there because it got a little crazy for my blending, which can happen with dark shadow. And that's okay. And so here I am just checking that it's even. And it is, at least to my liking. So then now I'm going in with an even smaller blending brush that's a little more stiff and precise, going into another deep color that's very similar called Chip. And this is a little bit warmer toned, but pretty much similar, so you could use the same shade. And I'm going to more precisely pack that on the slightest outer corner of my eye. But since I'm doing it with a blending brush that's still not a flat shader brush, it's still not a very harsh color placement, but it is pretty precise. So that's just even further deepening up the eye look, but only where I want to. And so again, just always check that it's even, take a step back and look with your mirror and even lighting, and make sure that both sides have the same depth of color. So that is how that's looking so far. So then I'm going to take a small shader brush that's a little fluffy, and then take this color Silk Cream and put that underneath my lash line. So this brush is pretty small but still fluffy, so it will blend it out quite a bit. It's not going to be too harsh of a line under there, and because it's a light color, that's okay. And then I'm taking a blending brush that's a little more compact and shorter with the color Buns that we used earlier, that nice mauve tone. And then I'm going to put that a little closer to the lash line just to define it even further, but it won't blend out or diffuse as much. So now I'm taking an actual flat shader brush, but it was actually chewed up by my friend's dog, but that's okay. And I'm taking the shade Hustle, which is a nice shimmery taupe shade, but it has a pretty good amount of depth to it, so it's not super light and reflective, and I'm just placing that on the lid and gently blending out with my finger. And then I'm taking a smaller flat shading brush that's more precise and taking a little bit of a lighter shade Obsessed and putting that just on the inner part of the eye, about like the inner third, not quite inner corner, but just a little bit more concentrated in the inner part of my eye. So then I'm taking this little under eye brush, I don't really know what you would call it, but it's flat, and then taking the shade Mocha, which is that deep shade, and putting that under the lash line just to deepen it up even further. I saw that I wanted it to be a little darker, and then I'm joining that around the outside corner of my eye just to make sure the lash line is cohesive with the outer corner. So then that is the finished eyeshadow look for night. So it's a little deep, a little smoky. And then I'm taking this gel cream eyeliner from ColourPop in the shade Mr. Bing, which is a nice warm tone brown color. And I really like this formula. And I'm taking that on my tight line, which is just below my lashes, as you can see where I'm applying that. And this just deepens it up even further so you don't have the light nude color of the inside of your eye showing right there. And I'm also doing it on my waterline, which will really deepen up the lower lash line and smoke it out a little bit. But I'm trying not to go too crazy because, you don't want it to smudge and get all raccoon eye like, so just a little bit on the outside. And then I'm taking my Benefit Roller Lash Mascara again, and this builds pretty nicely, so even when you have dry mascara on underneath, I think that you can add quite a bit just to darken it up more, especially when you're blending shadows over top of it, which can, get on the eyelashes. So for the lips, I'm going to be using the ColourPop Ultra Satin Lip Cream in the shade Point Zero, which is a nice, cool-toned, deep brown color. And I don't usually do brown lipstick too much, but I really like this color. It's a little more bold and perfect for a nighttime look and going out. And so it also is really flattering still. It's nothing too crazy to where it's like, oh, and it doesn't look too bold, but it's really nice and a little deeper and just a really fun lip color for something different. So then this is the overall look. Here I am, letting my hair down, ready for the night. Not the night, just chilling alone, but there it is. And I hope you guys enjoyed.